Happy Friday, everybody. This is Captain Jason again with another Friday fishing forecast for Tampa Bay, Florida. This weekend's going to be a great weekend for everybody in Tampa Bay. I'm sure we're all anticipating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing here in Tampa at the Super Bowl, and we really hope that Tom Brady is going to take us to the big W on Sunday. But before then, we got plenty of fishing to do. So let's go ahead and get right into this weekend's fishing forecast. So here's the setup we have coming this weekend. For Saturday, February 6th, we do have a frontal boundary coming, so let's click over here to the rain forecast and zoom out a little bit on the map. And this right here, these blue and grays, that's a light band of rain, as you can see. So let's scroll through and see if we're going to be able to have a decent day Saturday fishing-wise. 10 a.m. we look good. 1 p.m. we look good. 4 p.m. looking pretty good. And then looks like it's going to be pretty cloudy and covered in with rain. Light rain, pretty good coverage-wise for the Tampa Bay region for Saturday evening. Let's go ahead and click back over to the wind forecast. And you can see basically what this front is going to do this weekend, guys. It's going to stall right over Tampa Bay. It's going to stall right before Tampa Bay. And then at some point, it's going to pass by and stall again near Sarasota is what they're forecasting. Let's go ahead and scroll over here to 7 a.m. and take a look what the wind's doing. You can see this is like clear as day where that frontal boundary is right here. So let's go ahead and zoom in to Tampa and see when this front's supposed to be coming through. So 10 a.m., 1 p.m., still have south winds, so the front has not came through yet. 4 p.m., 7. So it doesn't look like that front's going to quite make it through on Saturday. So this should cause some pretty good pressures to move on the barometer. So fishing should be good. So let's just go ahead and go over and see what the wind is going to be doing, though, right here in Tampa Bay for Saturday for us. It doesn't look like really that much rain is going to be an issue until later in the afternoon. So at 7 a.m., we're going to have a southeast wind about 8 to 10 knots. And it's going to be switching more to the southeast-east, probably more out of the east, I'd say, but southerly still. It's staying around 10 knots, dropping off at 1 p.m. to 3 to 5 knots and picking back up. So pretty calm winds on Saturday. So if you're not scared to get a little bit wet, possibly a little bit later in the afternoon, I would say Saturday is going to be a pretty decent day weather-wise to go fishing with your family. Let's check out Sunday's wind forecast. So Sunday, that front comes through, so it must come through early in the morning. At 7 a.m., we have a northwest wind, and as I mentioned before, northwest wind, not usually a friendly wind to boaters in Tampa Bay. Usually this whole south shore right here is just getting beat up pretty good with waves, and there's really just not a lot of places for someone to hide from the wind. And it's just howling. It's doing, it looks about 10 to 15 is what they're forecasting, and they're always really wrong with these. I'm going to say it's probably going to be closer to 20. And they're forecasting that it's going to stay calmer than this. I'd be surprised. See these out here? See what these big winds out here, the greens and the yellows? That's heavy wind. That's 25 knots. That's like what it was Monday and Tuesday when I was going over the Howard Franklin, and literally waves were hitting me. I was in the fast lane heading towards St. Pete, and waves were hitting me. So 4 p.m., there's that heavier wind that I thought was going to be here a little bit earlier. So it's going to be out of the switching from northwest to northeast in the afternoon for about 15 to 20 knots. And it's just going to keep cranking all the way through Sunday afternoon. So if you're going to go fishing, I know Sunday's a Super Bowl day. Saturday's going to be the better day to go fishing this weekend, and that leaves Sunday wide open for whatever Super Bowl plans you got. Let's go ahead and check out this weekend's tides. Saturday, we have a very, very slow-moving incoming for the entirety of the day. We have a low tide at 5:08 a.m. and a high tide at 9:30 p.m. And Saturday, I'm going to be fishing this weekend, and I'm definitely going to be picking my clients up right at 8 a.m. just so I can start timing that tide. We're going to need all the tidal work we can get on this type of slow-moving tide. So I want to make sure I'm fishing that from right here. About 8 to 12 is where I'm going to be fishing on Saturday afternoon. And then if you want to sleep in, you'll be fine. The tides, it's going to be like a slow moving in tide, so it's just going to slowly trickle in all day. So you should be able to get the fish to feed, especially with this front coming in. As far as Sunday's tides go, more of the same, almost identical tide for what we have on Saturday. We have a low tide at 6:21 a.m. and a high tide at 10:40 p.m. And if I was going to be fishing this tide, same thing. I'd probably bump up my tide maybe a little bit further. I'd probably fish around like 9 or 10 a.m. because you really want to fish that part of the slope of the tide that's moving up. You don't want to hit those real slow moving zones that you're going to have from like 6 to 8:30, it looks like here on the tide chart that I'm looking at. So Sunday, if you could deal with the wind and the cooler temperatures from that front and maybe some rain, you could probably still catch some fish on Sunday. But we all know it's Super Bowl Sunday, so we know what you're going to be doing. So let's go fishing on Saturday. Saturday salooners. Today we have a high activity salooner from 8:01 a.m. to 10:01 a.m. and then another salooner from 1:25 p.m. to 2:25 p.m. So those salooners correlate pretty well with the times that you should be fishing on Saturday. That morning high activity salooner should be a fire bite when you have a big salooner, a major front coming in, and an incoming tide. That's what spells success when you're fishing here in the wintertime here in Tampa Bay. So let's just go ahead and view Sunday salooners, even though we all know what we're going to be doing on Sunday, which is watching the Super Bowl. We have a high activity salooner from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and then we have another average activity salooner from 2:18 p.m. to 3:18 p.m. So if you are going to fish Sunday, you're going to brave the conditions. Those are your salooners. Those are your tides. Let's just go ahead and move into and talk about some of the fish that I've been targeting and catching this week. This week we've had some pretty good weather during the week, midweek, and it's really made for a pretty good bite. It has not been warmer like it was the previous week, and the fish have really fallen right back into their winter patterns. So I'm catching trout on the low tides in all the holes, all the edges of the deep grass flats, and anywhere you can find warm, deep water. Redfish have been congregating in schools. They've been hiding in with the schools of mullet. And if you can get out there on a low tide, there's been a lot of tailing activity in Tampa Bay. All you got to do is find the mullet, and you should be able to find some redfish right now. If you're looking for snook, you're going to have to work a little bit harder. They were kind of peeking out of the river mouths and the creek mouths, but this last front, and I'm sure this front that's coming through this weekend, is going to have them tucked way back up in the creeks, way back up in the canals, and really just hiding out and trying to stay warm. So I probably would leave the snook alone for this weekend, unless you just like fishing up the rivers and really just, struggling for every bite you have. Cobia bite has still been really strong. We've been sight fishing at cobia almost every trip that we've been out. Really where I'm targeting them at is anywhere you can find large, vast areas of sand flats with stingrays on them. And you're going to probably see a cobia if you stick to it enough. Now, don't just go out there and just troll for 5 seconds and turn. When I say we're catching cobia, I'm committing my entire trip to catching cobia, and we are on the trolling motor, and we're looking for cobia. That's what you do. That's all you do. There's no secret behind it. You just go look for cobia, and you cast that one when you see one, and they're probably going to eat. And that's what we've done, and we've been, we had one trip where we caught like 13 cobia this year. So this year's been a really good year for cobia. The sheepshead are definitely starting to push into the bay really thick. Probably after this front, I would say we're going to probably be in a peak sheepshead fishing zone mode, and I'm going to start targeting them a lot. And this is some of my favorite time of year fishing is, mid-February, early February, sheepshead fishing and snapper fishing around all the bridges and pretty much any reef, rock pile, anything, oyster bar, anything that's like a piece of structure, you're going to be able to catch some sheepshead around at this time of year. So get out there, have a great weekend. Please comment on my video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure you visit my Instagram page and my Facebook page to stay up to date on all my fishing, because I do post more frequently on those than I am on my YouTube channel. And lastly, please click on my Amazon affiliate link whenever you guys are getting ready to make a purchase off Amazon. It doesn't charge you anything, and it gives me a small commission, which helps me continue to build this YouTube channel for you guys. And all that money is going directly back into buying more camera gear, better lenses, better microphones, stuff that's going to make my content better for you guys. So thanks for watching. Appreciate everything you guys do. Looking forward to taking home that W this weekend for the Super Bowl. Go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we'll see you guys out on the water.